I went to school in Palm Beach.
Okay, so I would say you're from Palm Beach then, probably. That's what he went
Notice
to high
how
school.
at the beginning of this conversation she tries to remain calm, and I don't know if you can tell, but I can tell because I can pay very close attention to people that she's acting right now, and what she's doing is she's telling herself, "I'm going to remain calm no matter what they say, so that they can't make fun of me." But what she's actually going to do is destabilize herself because her answers won't make sense, and that's going to anger her.
That's what you said, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then you said you do
And you can
OF?
tell also that she's experiencing anxiety because of her body movement like that.
Yes.
Okay.
She's being asked questions. Being asked questions that you have to answer truthfully is being required to engage in a masculine framework and in one that respects the parameters of objectives up and down. Like think of it like this: if I ask you how old you are, and you say you're 150, and you're 22, you are immediately judged for denying objective reality, and also you're also judged for believing as though everyone will judge you for the idea that you're believing as though you can deny reality. So by asking a woman an objective question and them answering objectively, it immediately removes them from their constant delusions that they want to perpetuate on the world. And that's what I'm going to show you here in part.
Translation, he don't want to commit because she's on.
This woman here is also an OnlyFans whore, and so together they get really triggered, and so together they become extremely emotionally unstable and unable to answer the questions, and in so doing, frame the architecture of delusion in a way that I can break down for you so that you can understand it, and this is going to get very interesting.
Offense. All right.
No, but that's cute.
Oh, the other way around?
Yes.
No, that's cute, bruh. So disgusting.
Commit because she's on OnlyFans. All right.
No, but that's cute.
Oh, the other way
So
around?
she tries to dominate what Myron just said, host of the show. She tries to dominate what the host of the show just said through female unseriousness and insipidness with her "that's cute" comment, trying to demean the objective description of her situation, because she knows that if objective parameters are prescribed to her situation, she knows this instinctually. If objective parameters are applied to her situation, to her life, then so much of her life will be revealed as incoherent, unreasonable, just completely devoid of any type of allegiance to reality. Basically delusional is the word I'm looking for. Her life will be revealed as delusional, and this is why they're so on guard for being objectively analyzed. That's why they start to get angry here. Now, she's starting to get angry because Myron just said he's not going to commit to you because you're on OnlyFans. You're an OnlyFans whore. Basically, he's saying multiple things with that. I'll just cover a few of the critical points of what he's saying. He's saying men have objective standards that they use and exercise on women in the dating marketplace. This is intolerable to feminists, to women. This is intolerable to most women and feminists, because feminism tells women that men exercising standards or objective parameters on you is indistinguishable from violence and misogyny, because exercising standards on women is misogyny, and it is discriminatory, and it's predatory. So the objective parameters, the objective apparatuses of analyzing reality are predatory and discriminatory, because we are not to be held to the standard of reality. We are not to be held to the standard of scrutiny with the goal in mind of something transcendently valuable, also known as truth. There is a coy deceptiveness adopted by the degenerate female psyche when trying to obfuscate issues that would lead to coherent analysis and a revelation of an objective structure that governs their lives. Because once they understand that objective structures govern their lives, when I say understand it, I mean specifically for women, being manifested proof that they cannot ignore because of the consequences that would ensue if they could ignore it. And in this case, those consequences are being called out by the host of the show for the fact that men have standards, and that regardless of what women say or think, men have standards, and that those standards are not predatory, corrupt, or tyrannical.
Not right now.
Because you're on OnlyFans.
No. It has nothing to do with OnlyFans. Why you keep going there?
So here we see the first breaking of the facade. Remember how I said at the beginning she was an actor? She was acting to pretend as though she could remain calm, but you can't remain calm if you're dedicated to a way of operating that is incongruent with reality, because reality is undefeated. Reality literally cannot win. That's like you battling the universe. Like the universe is going to win because you're in the universe. So yeah, there is no end goal of victory when you're denying reality, and her pretending as though she can remain calm while denying reality and being called out for denying reality simultaneously is that exact illusion. So here we see her triggerness start to come forward. And it's also a questioning of why do you feel, what she's actually saying here is, why do you feel you can be a predator to me, is what she's saying.
Because you're on OnlyFans.
No. It has nothing to do with OnlyFans. Why you keep going there?
It has nothing to do with OnlyFans. Why do you keep going there? What she's actually saying is, why do you feel like you can be a predator and a bully for reminding me I live in an objective universe? That's what she's saying here. And it's also, at the same time, a challenge for masculinity to brave the insane, hellish landscape that is her like broken feminine psyche. Now, I understand that most women aren't like this. Most women aren't, OnlyFan whores and mentally destroyed, and that they at the very least don't, they're not at war with men, helping them to understand these objective parameters. I've heard it said by Andrew Tate, I've heard it said by others that women have emotional superpowers and men have reasoning superpowers, and logical reasoning superpowers. Now, I think that that's completely fine, and I think that there's a lot of truth to that. And there's no, I unlike the radical feminists, have no problem with the fact that men and women are physically different, but when they pretend as though reality can be made in the image of their delusion and ideology, that's where they have to be crushed. That's where they have to be corrected by reality, and that's what I'm doing here.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a relationship inhibitor, if we're going to be honest.
We have, okay, so here Myron says, and he says it's a relationship inhibitor to be a whore, in a somewhat soft tone, probably hoping as though she won't continue the issue since it's the beginning of the show and they want to get into these topics later, which are heavier and tend to play out later on the show. But that's not what happens here. She does continue to basically ask, how dare you confront me with objective reality and force my delusional thought patterns to go into disharmony with each other, in front of my own consciousness. That's what she's asking, and that's what she's going to force here.
I don't think you like women.
I don't think you like women. The incoherent accusation meant to demonize your character, slander your reputation, and make anything that you have to say the words of a undesirable, so that they don't have to contend with anything you say. So that way, it's like saying you're a bad person, and as a result of you being a bad person, I don't have to think about anything that you have to say or think. And this is a tactic of the radical left, obviously, but this is also a tactic of feminism. And what they do is they say, because you go to the gym, you're objectively impressive. They don't use these words. Instead, they use words like white supremacist now for some reason. I don't know why.
I don't think you like women.
Oh.
Okay, right. So, she tries to slander his reputation with the incongruent, incoherent statement that is out of left field, doesn't make any sense at all. Oh, you care about truth, you're holding me accountable using objective parameters, you must not like women, because if you like women, then you would allow women to be delusional, you would allow them to disrespect you, and you would allow them to be whores and not correct them. So that's what she just said.
What did you say that?
And so Myron's going to choose to make this a slow burn, where he's going to say, basically get them to admit their incompetence rather than just stating it outright.
Very rude.
You're very rude by, confronting me with objective parameters. You're very rude for foiling my delusion. You're very rude for giving me the impression that I can't get away with whatever I want at this time, because I don't, and this is, what's going on in the woman's head. In the woman's head, she's thinking, I can't get away with the incoherence of not being able to understand the world and not being able to interface with objective reality. And as a result, you doing this is a villain. You are victimizing me, right? And from that victimization, she gains counterfeit virtue, because if you're a victim being victimized by someone else, by an oppressor, you, under Marxism, gain virtue. So now she's looking for virtues, and she knows that she's going to get crushed, and already is starting to, get somewhat humiliated under the scrutiny of the objective gaze.
Well, am I rude
That
for
has
pointing
nothing
out?
to do with my OnlyFans, but that's
It has everything to do with, okay, so your dating life is going to have a tremendous amount to do with OnlyFans, because if you're a whore as a woman, then this is something men find unattractive and will determine your dating future. Because high caliber men will not want to commit to a woman that whores herself, especially on the internet, for other men. And this is just a fact. Now, obviously, women that are degenerate will call this insecure or controlling, because, again, anything that puts objective parameters on women is completely reprehensible. Of course, objective parameters built civilization. It built the world. It built the houses that they're in. It built their IKEA furniture that they spend 4 days picking out, and it built everything that they enjoy. But no. If objective parameters are applied to them, that's reprehensible. Objective parameters are applied to men, and men live and men embrace them, because this is how we are programmed. But this is, and I'm well aware of the fact that most women are not built to understand, logic and reason to the same level that I was blessed with. But that doesn't change the fact that if they're going to pretend as though they can mock and degrade the state of objective analysis, then they take all bets off the table. So that's why I feel comfortable that I can do this, because this is actually a threat to the world. And the more people that understand the frequency at which the delusion is taking place, the easier it is to combat.
Oh,
And also, you can tell from her expression that she's also testing him. Women are looking to be. I heard this in a really, really interesting conversation recently, but women are basically constantly looking for habitable order, and the way that they achieve this is through men. And so when she's looking at Myron, she's testing him, but she's also looking for potential habitable order, because women aren't looking to live in pain all the time. They actually do want habitable order, but women that are, psychologically destroyed, like most of these women on this panel, they from countless problems and choices that they've made, they may not be able to get there, but that doesn't change the fact that they still want that.
am I rude
that
for
has
pointing
nothing
out?
to do with my OnlyFans, but that's very cute. So
Well-
what's your name?
Hold on.
Oh, and then she tried to move on. She tried to move the conversation on, which is, the attempt for the degenerate feminine personality to take control over the masculine authority of competence, coherence, and logic. But Myron doesn't allow that, because it's very weak. And the thing is, to people that are able to exercise logic and reason, it comes across as very weak and pathetic. This is the reason why they start to get agitated, because they know that they're viewed as weak and pathetic when they try to usurp competence with incompetence, when they try to usurp authority with, petty feminine dribble.
Hold on. It's not that I dislike women. It's that
Sexuality in general is
So
not-
here we see, dude. Okay, this is funny. So I'm gonna fucking laugh. That's funny. She just said, bro, this woman. I'll play it for you one more
are
time.
involved in OnlyFans or pornography or anything in the sex industry have a difficult time getting in relationships. That's a fact. That's not my opinion.
Right, an objective fact.
not
You
what I
said in
think.
general. In general is not a factuality.
Okay, so here again we see the degenerate feminine personality trying to masquerade as masculine competence, making a statement about reality, but because it's so wrong, it's laughable. That's the part where I laugh, because saying it as though you can't state facts about generalities that's ignorant of statistics. That's ignorant of basic, I would say, any type of extrapolated thought above an IQ of 110. I would say maybe even 105. That's like it's so stupid that it can only be derived from a brain that is at war with objective reality and completely inexperienced. This is essentially like the mind of a child. This is, I think it was a previous podcast with a name I can't say on YouTube that was on this podcast, and he said that women essentially have the minds of children, and they never develop past that. That's not a high enough resolution statement, but it does communicate a truth here, which is these women are so immature as a result of their emotional triggerdom that they can't engage with the actual coherence of ideas. And this is the basis of them being so easy to decimate on all of these podcasts, whether it be, you know, the Whatever podcast, the Fresh and Fit podcast, etc.
Speak for yourself, but I'm telling you in general, most women that are involved in sex work have a difficult time getting into and staying in relationships.
Well, as somebody who's actually in the industry, I can tell you that is false, because I know a lot.
Right, the identity politics, and what she said is incorrect, but the identity politics of the left, they don't actually know how to vet ideas coherently or logically, so all that they do instead is pretend as though, oh, I'm a part of a group, so I can speak for this group because identity politics are all that matters. Identity, as defined by allegiance to a group, is all that gives you virtue and status. Therefore, because I say that I'm a part of this group, anything that I say following that must be true. It's, you know, it's this is a widely understood intellectual error. It's a logical fallacy, and it's also, by the way, an aspect of ideologies that have produced catastrophes in the past that we understand through history. So this is a complete intellectual error, and you're seeing what I mean when I say there are so many, like, it's of absolute degeneracy packed into just the first few minutes of this video. It's insane.
A lot of women that do it and are in very happy relationships.
Okay, just because
that's not a statement of fact. That's not a statement of reality. Saying I know a lot of women that are happy about X, Y, and Z doesn't mean anything when Myron just said on average women are unhappy when they do this, or on average women experience these problems when they do this action. It doesn't matter what you say about who you know. It's completely irrelevant. And that's called, you know, an anecdote.
have a difficult time
Who
getting a
did this
relationship.
say?
This is a fact. Like, do you, like, am I speaking like Chinese right now? Telling you that women have.
She looks over at the other woman, laughing as if she knows that they're playing an incoherent game to just obfuscate the entire, you know, enterprise. This is why women who are degenerate feminine personalities are not good at building anything and are not good at collaborating with anyone, because they don't actually know how to build things. They don't actually know how to collaborate because they just sabotage it. And that's basically what they're doing. They're trying to sabotage the podcast. She knows what she's doing is nonsensical, and she's just waiting to get bulldozed. That's what's happening here. And this is really what this is a marker of degenerate femininity. And it's interesting how total masculine excellence and coherence like invites feminine degeneracy. It's like the more impressive you are, the more objective you are, the more degenerate feminine personalities will look to be corrected around you. And
financial difficulty, it will be harder for him to find a mate. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you agree?
Yes.
Why is it that you guys are okay with agreeing with the general fact when it puts the man in a bad situation with finding a girl because he's not, you know, financially adept?
And by the way, okay, so this is super interesting. When I said before men have logic superpowers or reasoning superpowers, I don't actually think men have reasoning superpowers. I think that women see men as having reasoning superpowers. This is what Myron is demonstrating to them, and he's basically beating them just by asking the simplest coherent questions. It's basically by, you know, establishing data points, saying, do you agree with this? Do you agree with this? Do you agree with this? The reasoning behind your agreement with these ideas has objective, you know, architecture to it. So therefore, you must validate these other ideas, and then he can basically demonstrate how they're completely wrong. And you can do this with anyone that denies reality. Basically, I know. Actually, in my life, the number of women that, or the number of people that do this all tend to be women, very interestingly, because, yeah, they're just not equipped. And also they're told, actually, that's not true. They are equipped. They're given something called men. But because feminism tells women that men are the enemy, that toxic masculinity is, you know, reprehensible, or that masculinity is somehow toxic, which is, by the way, just an admission by feminism that they get trumped by masculinity, that you can't argue your way out of masculinity. That's all. That's just an admission by feminism. All this is a constant attack on civilization by the resentful feminists, by the resentful Marxists, and the radical leftists.
Versus, I tell you on the other side, well, a woman that tends to have a sexual history or be promiscuous, she's going to have a difficult time finding a man. A woman that's involved in a certain industry is the same as a man that's a...
You might ask why they're laughing at the objective fact, because it'd be unusual if I said the earth is round and then you started laughing. The reason for that is because they're living in an incoherent mindset. They don't have the type of they don't have the type of ability to understand the world the way, let's say, if I said to you the earth is round and you would understand that idea. For them, they don't know what the word round means. They don't know what the word earth means. And so all they can do is just sort of like giggle, laugh, smirk in defiance of the idea of words and thoughts. Now, these women aren't going to be, saved, fixed, or corrected from this podcast, but they are going to be humiliated. And that's because of all the choices that they've made. Most women, I think, can be encouraged to reject some of the more disgusting impulses of, feminism's feminism's insistence to just proliferate chaos in the psyche and minds of all women. But these women really, it is a pathetic thing, because when you look at these fat, ugly whores, you can tell that they're going to be single for the rest of their lives as they do OnlyFans. And so when they're 55, they're going to be single, they're going to have cats, and they're not going to have children. And we know from data, so just to dunk on them again, I can state a fact about a general set of the population, which is the most depressed set of people in the world, are women who are single, who are old, who are childless. And this is who these women are going to be. So this chaotic, disgusting, degenerate mind virus that radical feminists have in their hatred for masculinity, competence, and accountability, it has a cost, and the cost is mental destitution and depression and childlessness. This is the cost of what these feminists pay, and so this is what they're in for.
The bum. Same difficulties that a man that doesn't have his money together finding a mate.
Okay.
It's the functional equivalent. It's the functional equivalent.
Okay.
So, I mean.
So here we see the same tactic of not being able to argue, but instead just trying to undermine and demonize Myron as perseverating on a topic that is irrelevant. But what that is doing is denying the actual relevance of it, which is it is correcting their incoherence. It is correcting the attempt by them to deny accountability. And this is why she's saying okay. And laughing and smiling at her girlfriend, because she knows, again, she's confirming with, her fellow whore that I don't know what else to call these women, because they're basically whores, right? They're OnlyFans whores. But she's essentially confirming with her female friend that they're here to just obfuscate. They're not here to do anything besides that. So check this out again.
It's the functional equivalent. It's the functional equivalent.
Okay.
So, I mean, I would have.
Women can't argue, and they get bested very easily. And so all that they have to take any type of victory forward is just to try to undermine your standing, your reputation, and your respect. This is why the higher your status grows, the more triggered random women become when you correct them, and also the more your constant respect increases. As your status increases, the less women will try to mess with you. And this is just very interesting, because they know that their attempts to subvert your status, your reputation, will just backfire. It will reflect on them, and then their reputation will become worse. They'll be viewed as a whore. It's like, imagine if this woman tried to disagree with Elon Musk. It would immediately just make her look like a random idiot. You see what I'm saying? It wouldn't matter to Elon Musk at all.
Tougher on them,
it is tougher on them.
I mean,
because you're handicapping yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Men don't like promiscuous women. Women don't like bums.
Okay.
It's the same exact situation. It's a functional
And
equivalent.
here she tried to do the same thing as before, but it doesn't work, because Myron basically has the ability to say both in a spoken and unspoken way that I just explained this to you already, so you're being stupid. So the reason I'm still talking is because you're stupid and insufficient. That's what's going on here.
But if I point it out from the female perspective, it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But if you point it out on the male side, it's not an issue. So anyway, like I was saying, do you not want to commit to
Amazing segue. And you can tell that okay, so let's cover this.
side? It's not an issue.
So he looks at her waiting for a response, but she's too stupid to talk, so she doesn't.
So anyway, like I was saying,
and so here she gets run over. And they go back to the original conversation. Myron took a W, actually multiple W's, and now look at her face.
do you not want to commit to
She
him?
starts laughing at the idea of being held accountable, because that's what just happened, and she doesn't know how to deal with it. So that's her emotional response.
Doesn't want to commit to you. And then
Also very interesting to see how these women are obsessing over their appearances, which is totally fine. I have no problem with that. I'm not digging them for that. I just I'm pointing that out so people understand that women understand their primary value is derived through their appearance. And this is also why women who are old and single are so depressed. I said this before, but part of the reason why, the most oppressed group of people, the most people on antidepressants are old women who are single without kids, is because they can't even attract a man to give them the protection and a reality understanding apparatus, which is the masculine psyche, at that point in life, because they can't attract a man. They've squandered away their only currency, which they've denied their entire life because they want to be like men, because feminism tells them to resent the patriarchy, that beauty is their only commodity, and they've squandered it. So this is why they're obsessing over their makeup. And guys, I see people in the Fresh and Fit chat sometimes saying like, oh, women are shallow. Like, you're just basically crying about the fact that the earth is round. Like, that's all you're doing, right? So why are you doing that? Yes, women care about their beauty because that's basically their only commodity. This is very basic stuff. So I think men shouldn't want women to be unlike they are. They should just seek to understand women for how they are and makes the civilization better. Radical feminists are not only not asked to understand the world, they're told that you don't need to understand the world through mechanisms of coherence like science or reason or logic, because adherence to the group membership already gives you all the virtue and status you need. And you can call any person that holds you to the standard of objectivity a predator. You can call them a misogynist. That's what you can call them, because they're bad. They're not as good as you, but their brains are empty. I want you to understand, inside their heads, their brains are empty, and you're seeing it right now.
She got him.
Okay.
Damn.
Use
Like,
your skills.
This is the thing. See, like,
You got in the house, girl.
No. It's not about getting in the
Not
house.
that.
The point is that she's at the house, which means she attracted him, which means she successfully seduced him to some degree where he's there. She's there at the house. He's probably spending money on her. He's probably spending time on her. The problem with women is that you guys like
But it's
critical.
not hard to seduce. According to you, it comes easy.
That's my point.
That's
I just
the
proved it.
But no,
But why
you-
would she have
Of course it's easy. What the fuck?
seduced? Why can't
Right.
you just like her because you like her?
Because-
But you feel like women seduce you. That's what you feel like.
No, it's not about that. I'm
That's
saying
what
that.
Okay, that type of statement can only be described as one thing. I've coined a term for a certain type of person saying a certain type of thing, and I call it left side of the bell curve behavior. Now, I'm going to show you guys what left side of the bell curve behavior is, and it is statements exactly like the one that we just heard. Okay? Left side of the bell curve behavior. This statement we just heard is about like a 55 IQ statement, which is only about 15 IQ points higher than the smartest dogs, by the way.
Like her because you like her.
Because-
But you
She thinks that she actually said something here, as if she said
feel
something.
like women seduce you. That's what you feel like.
No, it's not about that. I'm
That's
saying
what you
that
feel
for
like.
women, the burden of performance to attract the man is very low.
What the fuck? Why do you think that matters when he's making the point that men and women aren't the same and that women don't have to earn the same things men do? Dude, their heads are empty. Okay, their heads are so fucking empty. I'm just gonna move on, bro. I'm just gonna move on.
Women are able to get all the same rights and privileges as men, while simultaneously still be able to be treated like ladies and enjoy the benefits of chivalry. So they're able to kind of burn the candle at both ends.
Okay. So, do you guys feel like you live on easy mode?
No.
They heard, okay, that's what a perfect encapsulation of female delusion. She heard a fact that was, she heard a statement that was coherent, top to bottom, factually based, made sense, completely properly structured, and then her response was, okay, ladies, are we going to accept that or reject that based on our feelings? Oh my god, did that make us feel a certain way? Well, then we can't accept it. It must not be true. Bro, you can't make this up. I'll play that again. Look at this. What an amazing answer by Myron. By the way, that was very, very succinct, and I'm impressed.
While simultaneously still be able to be treated like ladies and enjoy the benefits of chivalry.
Right.
So they're able to kind of burn the candle at both ends.
Good analogy. Burn the candle at both ends. Now let's hear the 9 million IQ, purely masculine, obviously coherently structured response. Okay.
So,
Okay.
do you guys feel like you
Okay.
live on easy mode?
Do you feel like you live on easy mode after just being confronted with a statement of fact? Wow.
No.
Do you feel like you live on easy?
Dude, that's literally their response. Do you feel like that's true? No. Dude, that's fucking funny. Oh, dude. Imagine if men were like that. Okay, like the electrician comes by to like fix the wiring or something. Does your light work? No, it doesn't work. Well, I think it works, and it leaves. Like, bro, oh my gosh. If men acted this way for a day, civilization would collapse and we'd fall into the Stone Age.
Emo, do you ladies feel like everything that you have right now was given to you? Everything that you have?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. And not
Dude, and then she turns back as if that meant anything, as if that qualified for anything at all. You didn't ask them a question. You said, does that feel right to you? And then, dude, this is why women, I'll just say it. Hey, dude, I'm going to fucking say it and I don't care because it's the truth and I care about the truth only. Women shouldn't be in positions of power and authority because this is the type of like brain rot that can afflict them. I'm not saying it does in every situation, but this can afflict any woman if they become emotional enough.
I come here every single night and say the same thing, and you don't. It's not like you're going to be like, yeah, you're right. No, you're going to disagree because it's part of your
No, it's not about
narrative
that.
to disagree.
It's not a narrative. It's
ideas are based on things called facts. Facts are true whether you like it or not, and are true independent of feelings or opinions. Fact, your opinion. All right, so as promised, on today's episode of Delusional Leftists, we have this guy.
I've trained all the children at my summer camp to come to me whenever I play my recorder. Bunch of 5 to 11-year-olds are just following me wherever I go. I have so much power and I love it. It's the perfect time to teach them about trans.
I have so much power and I love it. It's the perfect time to teach them about trans.
I've trained all...
Oh my god. Dude, what can I say? Classic leftist musician skills. Oh my goodness. Dude, what can I say? Classic leftist musician elite skills. Classic leftist hairline. Oh my god, dude. You can't make this up. Why do they always look the same? Why can you expect them to look disheveled and destroyed and as if they're already depraved from reality? They have no future. Dude, all of them have the exact same aspect to their discombobulated nature. There's always the tinge of resentment, the hatred of reality manifested in their, depraved and sad physical state. They wouldn't go to the gym, even though it would make no difference. They would, even if they went to the gym for a week, it would make no difference because they're already so destroyed. It would mean nothing. You know what I mean? It's so pathetic, dude. Oh my fucking god. We have this video of an extremely racist young woman who hates white people.
It is through posts like this that white women are killing yoga.
I'm sorry. It's just the facial expression of her clearly thinking she's better than you. She clearly thinking that she's she's revealing the deep-seated immorality of
really
beautiful
for
white
the
women.
Quest for perfection. To a white woman,
Right.
Perfection means a key to happiness. Your key to success.
When she's saying perfection, she's talking about physical beauty because she's fat and unattractive and undesirable, and as a woman is therefore close to worthless. So she has basically no value since she's ugly, and she despises attractive white women for getting the men that she can't get. And not only that, she's become radicalized and racist against white people because she feels so genetically, I can't say that on YouTube, because she feels so ugly in comparison to them. And you can see that at the beginning of this video. I mean, this is the type of comparison she's doing. Like, she literally finds these women triggering because she's so ugly, because she looks like this. You see what I'm saying? So. And
the key to your very existence. You have to have the perfect hair, the perfect clothes, the perfect grades, the perfect nails.
No. Dude, no, you don't. You just have to not be ugly, and you have to not be fucking ugly.
And then you bring this competition for perfection into the yoga room, into your yoga practice. But did you know that this quest for perfection is rooted in white supremacy?
Dude, striving to be better, white supremacist. Didn't I, dude, I made a joke earlier in this video where I said that feminists call going to the gym and becoming better white supremacy. And you guys all thought that was a joke, didn't you? You see it in front of you now. You can't make this up. Dude, striving to be better, white supremacist. Having an ideal, white supremacist. What the fuck? Dude, white women being beautiful and universally desirable to all races of men, white supremacist.
That culture and society like North America's. If you take a look at what yoga actually teaches, yoga teaches that there is no such thing as perfection.
Dude, no, oh my god. I don't care what yoga teaches, but the idea that there is no such thing as perfection doesn't preclude you from striving for it. It's the same thing as striving for an ideal. There's, for 99% of people, becoming Arnold Schwarzenegger is genetically impossible, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't have a poster of him on your wall as you go to the gym to motivate you to better your life. See what I'm saying? It's completely pathetic. It's so pathetic. This is the same reason as having a role model. You know how many people look up to Elon Musk and know that they will never be as rich as him? But they still look up to him because you have an ideal. You see what I'm saying? So this is obviously pathetic. This is nihilistic, and this is typical leftist dribble. Let's just cut to the end where she calls everyone white supremacist, shall we? You're just racist for trying to be better.
You embrace the fact that your yoga practice will not look pretty. It will not be a performance. And when BIPOC yoga teachers call you out on your quest for perfection in yoga, if you are truly...
It's so racist that she's equating people of color, which is BIPOC, with not striving to be the best you can. That is so toxic. These people are ravaged and depraved by the left. Subscribe and like the video, guys. Let's go.